Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second match of today's Code A cast. We are going to observe a ZVZ between Lovesick and DongRaeGu. The game is about to start pretty soon. The first map is going to be Daybreak. And we have the OGS player against the MVP player. This should be quite an interesting match. ZVZ usually is, and I really like that. Well, mirror matchups are always a little bit weird, and especially in ZVZ anything can happen. We've seen that when Boom Boom Prime was able to beat Nesty at the Arena of Legends. This is going to be Lovesick against DongRaeGu, Zerg versus Zerg at Daybreak, and the game is about to start any seconds. So this is the GSL Code A, and here we go. Lovesick against DongRaeGu, Zerg versus Zerg. This is a best of 3 obviously, and we have the first map, we have Daybreak. And by the way, that sound, that buzzing in the background, that's not me shaving my head. I was actually, I just started laughing when I read about that, but yeah, I have to disappoint you guys. I'm not shaving my head while streaming. This would be quite a funny picture, but I'm not doing that. I actually hear the same buzzing while casting, which doesn't make things any easier. So yeah, we just have to make up with that. That should be alright. But in any case, I just want to mention once more that we have 2 streams available at the Code A. So you can also tune into the second stream, which is commentated by Doa and Wolf. And you can open 2 instances of the GOM player too. So if you press F9 when you're running your first instance of the GOM player, you will end up in the preference menu, and then you can just click allow several instances of the GOM player, something like that. Then you can open the second one as well, so that you can watch both games at the same time. But let's concentrate a little bit at the game at hand. We have at the top right on Daybreak in the red colors, we have DongRaeGu, the Zerg player from Team MVP, and his opponent at the bottom left in the blue colors, this is OGS Lovesick. And talking about the players, DongRaeGu has a really good record in ZVZ. He won 68% of his games in Zerg versus Zerg. He won 28 matches, lost only 13, whereas Lovesick, he played 13 matches in ZVZ, 13 recorded matches, 13 matches on a competitive level, and 8 of them were won by the player from Team OGS, and he lost 5 of them, which leaves him with a win quota of 62%. Daybreak being a really big map, it's a little bit deceiving if you only look at the minimap, and if you are aware of the fact that it's a 2-player map. It's a really huge map when it comes down to the ground distances between the 2 bases, so both players decide to get an expansion first. We have roughly the same build right now, as you can see at the production tab. Both players are going for gas and then pool. And Zerg versus Zerg is just a matchup that is really, well, unforgiving. If you don't pay attention to your units for just 1 mere second, then you will likely end up losing the game, especially if your opponent is playing with a Baneling Zergling combination in the early stages of the game. That's usually what's going to happen on a lot of maps, especially on maps with a really broad choke. But later on, most players try to transition into roaches, sometimes with the roach infestor combination, sometimes with the roach hydras. And we've even seen 2 base Mutalisk plays in Zerg versus Zerg. Mutalisks were kind of standard for a while, but then a lot of Zergs decided to get very fast infestors and fungled those Mutalisks, fungled them to death. And for some time then after that, most Zerg players tried to avoid the Muta play, but lately it's been coming back. So let's have a look how those 2 players will fare in this particular match. ZVZ and all mirror matchups, or most mirror matchups, are a little bit about how greedy can you play. How greedy can you play and actually get away with it. Right now we have both of them with exactly the same amount of units, 22 drones, 2 Zerglings, and a bunch of overlords as well as the queens. But for DongRaeGu and for his opponent, we have the Baneling nest. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. On maps like that, on maps with a really huge area around your natural that you have to defend, it is quite common to see a Zergling, Baneling. And to defend against that is really pretty damn hard. If you lose sight of one Baneling, it can it can make you lose the entire game. So you have to be always aware of what's happening on the minimap, and you have to anticipate your opponent's moves. I'm pretty eager to see how DongRaeGu is doing against Lovesick. DongRaeGu's last matches, DongRaeGu's last ZVZ were at the DreamHack. He won against Sen with 2-1, and he won against Lelouch as well. Lost one map against the Zerg player from Sweden. But against Linog at MLG, this was the consolation final. He didn't stand on. Well, he wasn't annihilated, but he lost four maps and was only able to win 3, therefore lost the consolation map, and DongRaeGu is now playing a little bit defensive. At the same time, we have Lovesick trying to take him down. Taking out a chunk of Zerglings already. It was really well done by DongRaeGu. Lovesick before that cancelled his Baneling morph in order to save those 2 Banelings, in order to save that gas, and we have him on 49 against 52 supply right now, and look at that. Wow, that guy has some balls. He's going for the 3rd base immediately after that instance with the Baneling, and we have both of them at 37 drones. DongRaeGu is tagging 2 tier 2 right now at his natural, getting his lair tech, trying to attack a little bit aggression with those Zerglings, not doing all too much damage. That's basically an army trade that we see right there. 56 against 56 supply for now. Both of them now trying to get an additional drones. I mentioned it before. It's basically the question of how of how greedy you can get without losing the game, without being punished for it. And now the Roach transition for Lovesick, as well as the Evolution Chamber, getting that +1 attack upgrade immediately, and that is so important. That's such an important upgrade in ZVZ. If your opponent is trying to still play with the Zerglings, you will be in quite a lot of pain, as the +1 attack upgrade for the Roaches enables the Roaches to kill a Zergling with only 2 shots. And have a quick look into the main base of DongRaeGu. There it is, the Spire. Talked about that in the start of the game, as we've seen this the double base Spire play quite often lately. And if you go for the Spire, you have a lot of options, and what you should do is always try to target down your opponent's gas. DongRaeGu expanding as well, by the way, trying to get a 3rd base up and running and putting some pressure onto his opponent's 3rd with those lings. One Baneling trying to get lucky. That's not going to do all too much damage, my friend. At the same time, nice run by DongRaeGu. Needs to be careful though. There's still one Baneling, a bunch of Roaches as well, trying to move in with Banelings on his own. There's the trade, 2 Banelings for 2, and yep, that's not gonna happen. But coming back to my original thought, if you start with the Mutalisks, you always should try to kill the extractors of your opponent. You should try to take out the queens, which is quite important, but don't focus too much on the drones, and don't focus too much on the overlords. It's always good to kill drones, of course, but what you want to achieve is you want to kill those extractors, because you can always rebuild drones. Getting back and getting even in terms of the minerals is not the big issue in ZVZ. You need to try to get ahead in gas mining, and as you can only put 3 drones on each extractor, it helps a lot if you're able to take down one of them, because your opponent will be limited for quite a while, needs to rebuild that, and at the same time you can just harvest a lot of gas. You will be ahead in upgrades, you will be ahead in tech units, and this is exactly what you want to achieve if you are going for some style, or the same style that DongRaeGu is playing right now. And his opponent is starting with Infestation Pit. We talked about that as well. That's one of the counters against Mutalisks. You're just trying to get those fungals that can take down the air units of your opponent. The +2 attack upgrade is already being built while we have the first Spore Crawlers, and for now DongRaeGu is focusing on the Overlords, trying to take down all of them, all of the Overlords that Lovesick spread over the map. He knows about the Spore Crawlers already. He's trying to get into a good position, take down that Infestation Pit. That would be huge. At the same time, we have a Hydra Den for Lovesick. 84 supply against 124. DongRaeGu already with a very decent lead in supply is killing the Infestation Pit. Very well done. 4 infestors are already in the making though, but still a very nice accomplishment by DongRaeGu. He's on 72 drones against 65. And now those Mutalisks just having a look if they get the chance of killing something, but there are the Spore Crawlers everywhere. Lovesick investing a lot of minerals into this, At the same time, we have Banelings running into the main bay, after the expansion of DongRaeGu. Oh, able to take down about 5 drones, not all too many. Let's have a quick look at that. 4 of them died. 4 of them died in that encounter. And DongRaeGu just trying to get more and more Zerglings, getting Mutalisks as well on the base at the bottom right, taking his 4th and trying to make sure that Lovesick is not able to get that 4th base, but being stuck on 3. That the Zerg player from Team OGS is now getting the range upgrade. The range upgrade for the Hydralisk, getting Pathogenic Glands with the newly built infestation bit. One of his infestors is already dead and gone, and there's a nice spread with the Mutalisks. Look at that, beautiful, 19 of them, and here come the Zerglings and the Banelings going in for the kill, trying to take down not only Spockers but also all those drones, not able to kill too many of them, and the Mutalisks go in for the kill, take out the Queen, are able to take down the Hydralisk as well, focusing on the Spore Crawler right now, and the drones taking out a lot of stuff, but there are the Fungals and the Infested Terrans, the Swarm Eggs, focusing down the Infestors as well. Look at that, losing 4 of them. This is huge. DongRaeGu, wow, that's beautiful. He's playing so well right now. He's attacking with the Mutalisks at the same time, running in with additional Zerglings at the ground, and he's taking Lovesick apart. Lovesick doesn't stand a chance on Daybreak against his opponent. DongRaeGu is taking down the Overlords and supply blocking his opponent once more, getting the Roach speed right now. He built a Roach Warren, is getting the +1 attack upgrade for the Mutalisks, and that small run-by attempt by Lovesick won't be able to deal a lot of damage to the Zerg player in the red. No MVP. DongRaeGu is just too strong for that. The Zerglings are about to die, taking down another Baneling, but that's all that he can achieve right now. A 50 supply lead for DongRaeGu, and he is just so far ahead right now. 73 drones against 69. He's playing on 4 bases against 350 Mutalisks, 18 Roaches. With his opponent just has a small advantage in terms of his upgrades. He has the +2 attack upgrade already done. DongRaeGu just now researching +1, while Lovesick is getting the first armor upgrade, but being stuck on 3 bases, he is in a really tough situation. DongRaeGu's income is just better, especially in terms of gas. Lovesick is doing a good job at the mineral, but DongRaeGu can get those 2 guys whenever he wants. He just finished with the 2 extractors and was sliding a bunch of drones over to that 3rd base, which is why the income was actually quite the same for a second, but he should really get those 2 extractors. At the same time, he's attacking his opponent with a lot of Banelings. Look at that. Is he able to take down the Hydralisk? Hydralisks are really vulnerable against Baneling play, and yes, he's killing a lot of them. Those Roaches dealing a number on his opponent's units, and now all the Mutalisks are focusing down the last surviving Mutalisks as well as the Infestor. 2 of them trying to escape, but that's not gonna happen. And DongRaeGu now obliterating that 3rd base of his opponent. He's about to be maxed out. Lovesick is down to 88 supply. That is going to be GG. There is no way that Lovesick can come back from that. Losing his 3rd, his opponent being on 4 bases and doubling his supply. Now that's just the last stand of Lovesick trying to make something happen, waiting for a miracle, but with his Spore Crawler done as well. Oh, beautiful fungal though by Lovesick, but this is not going to change anything at all. 200 supply against 67 right now, and Lovesick about to GG. The player from OGS is going to lose the first map. He's going to lose Daybreak. There's the GG, and DongRaeGu takes the lead in this best of 3 series of the GSL Korea. Alright guys, so this was a really impressive play by DongRaeGu, taking the lead in that series, and Lovesick, for a while he looked actually not all too bad. He was putting up a nice fight, but DongRaeGu was just getting way ahead, and that Mutalisk play paid out for him after all. His opponent just using a lot of his drone as well as minerals to get Spore Crawlers, and by killing the infestation pit he already got ahead quite a little bit in gas, as well as his opponent needed to rebuild that. Lost also 1 of his infestors without doing any damage at all. Well played by DongRaeGu. The players are joining the lobby right now, and I think that buzzing is gone, isn't it? If it's not gone, it's at least a lot. No, it's still there. Still shaving my head apparently. Yeah, it was quite fun. I mean, in the break I just had a quick glimpse at Team Liquid and I was reading about that buzzing because I was not too sure if that's actually only, well, if I'm the only one who can hear that or if it's being streamed as well, which is quite unfortunate. So I guess that we have some problem with the technical equipment that's obviously going to be fixed fairly soon, but I'm not too sure if we are able to do that today, but that's just something that we have to live with from now. Yeah, it was quite funny. I read those comments and suddenly I was like, oh my god, Calder, stop shaving, stop shaving. It's like, what? What's the guy talking about? I don't get it. And then I read the rest of the comments and I was suddenly like, okay, that makes a lot more sense right now. People are apparently having a good time taking a piss out of me, so yeah. But I would have loved someone to draw a picture of that. I think that would just look funny as color casting at the studio and at the same time shaving his hand. Well, doesn't matter all too much. Let's stop with the trash talk because the second map is about to start, and this is Calm Before the Storm, ladies and gentlemen. Once again,